Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Hope everyone is having a fantastic morning. Man, this is something. Here goes. Wow. They configured Z-Mode to be in track. I had kind of asked them to do that, but man, this interior, all the materials are just so refined and the interior quality is really good. And I think this is where the C8 has come a long way from the C7. And oh my God, it's a mid-engine. That right there is the engine behind us. And again, this is my first time behind the driver's seat of a C8 Corvette or any Corvette. I've never had a C7, a C6, a C4, any generation. It's my first time getting a Corvette. Well, today is a very sad day because as you saw, the very first C8 Corvette on the channel and my very first Corvette has officially been totaled. December is a month for a lot of content on the Jump Squad Auto channel. I plan to make at least one, maybe 2 videos a week, so definitely hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are on today's video, and maybe if you have some insight on what may have happened to this car. It's a bit of a mystery, but I'll leave my opinion at the end of the video on what I think happened in this car accident. So back when the C8 Corvette was announced in 2019, I went and placed my order about a month after it was unveiled. I was a little late to the ordering party, so it took about 12 months because of the pandemic and because of all the chaos of the original C8 Corvette rollout, some of which is what we are seeing on repeat with the C8 Z06, but after 12 months, as you saw, I took delivery of and sat in my first C8 Corvette. I made so much content on the channel with this car. This is the OG Corvette because it made the channel what it is today. I started the channel with the Raptor, but I was having a hard time meeting the monetization standards of YouTube, and the C8 Corvette within the first 30 days helped me get past that threshold. And for so many reasons, this car was so near and dear and special to me. And I really hope to someday be able to buy it again, but unfortunately that does not look like it will ever be the case. It is truly heartbreaking, but today we are going to roll through the pictures of the salvaged C8 Corvette, go through the numbers of what it was posted for auction, some of the metrics around what it may have sold for or what it is trying to get at the auction block. So I took delivery of the car somewhere around November of 2020. It was produced in the last week of production for the 2020 model year, in what was truly a year that changed the automotive industry as we know it. And we did so much with this car. It's truly amazing now going back and looking at some of the videos, looking at all the fun that we had on the channel with the car and all the content that we made. I know multiple people that bought C8 Corvettes because of this car. And to be quite honest, it does kind of suck to see the car in this situation. I wish I had the money to buy it, to rebuild it, to restore it to its former glory. But unfortunately with salvage cars, you can't just get a loan. You need to drop that money right out of the gates, which I don't have 60 grand just laying around to be able to buy this car. So hopefully it goes to a good home and gets back to road quality someday. I traded the car in for the 2022 C8R and the dealership sent it to auction. I got $92,000 for this car, and it went to a dealership in Virginia who listed it for about $105,000. I think they marked it down after 30 days and then sold it for probably north of $100,000. And it seems like this car has only seen less than a couple hundred miles before it was totaled in this apparent car accident. As you can see in this first picture here, the headlight on the passenger side is completely missing, but there is no other major visible damage that I can see, other than the front suspension looks very shot. Coming around to the other side, there's a big piece of body tape that's holding the front bumper in place along with the hood. If you look at the hood and kind of where it meets the fender line, there was tape holding all of this front end together. And again, in unison, the front suspension on this side looks shot as well. Now, this car did have the front lift as well as mag ride, so more than likely the mag ride shocks are completely shot. Otherwise, on the driver's side and the rear end look perfectly fine. It does not look like there's any damage to the vehicle. Moving on to the passenger side, again, there is no damage to the rear hatch, there's no damage to the roof, to the fenders. It's not like this car took an impact from another vehicle. Ooh, I missed this interior, but you can see the tan and black two-tone seats. No airbags have deployed, which tells me either this car was stationary where it happened or the impact wasn't significant enough to require that an airbag be deployed. So overall, besides the front end, this car's interior, exterior quality is actually in still really good shape. taking a closer look at the front end, you can see the front Z51 splitter is gone. So that's one thing to note. It looks like whatever impact happened took that Z51 splitter clean off. And taking a look where that passenger side fender meets the front bumper, it more than likely looks like the front bumper may have chipped or cracked or damaged the passenger side headlight, and they just took it out when they kind of put the front end pieces loosely together. And if you haven't bought an auction vehicle, then sometimes what these auction companies will do is if they see a car and they have all the parts, which in this case it looks like they did short of that passenger headlight, they'll try to piece together the front end very willy-nilly, loose bolts, but at least make it look like a complete car, because for somebody that's bidding on it, say from the other side of the country that isn't looking at it in person, a relatively assembled car is going to look a lot better and more appealing than a car that's missing a bunch of pieces or in completely separate components. And so that's what leads me to believe that the tape was kind of placed to hold some of these components together and make the car look a little bit more whole and hide some of whatever damages it may be hiding. Quick picture of the dash. Surprisingly, there is no check engine lights on, which I find is very odd. Again, as you can see, both seatbelts have been able to be slid back in, so none of the seatbelts have locked up, none of the airbags have deployed, so this car does not look like it was in a high impact accident. As you heard in that video right there, the engine turns over, there's no knocking noises, there's no obnoxious grinding noises. This car is in really good mechanical running condition between what we can hear from this video of the engine running and the lack of check engine lights. If you are mechanically savvy, leave a comment down below on what you think happened to the car. It says that there's front end damage, but it doesn't really specify any details around the accident. I couldn't find any police reports from just some basic research from open information out there. But honestly, if I had to take a guess, I think this car may have ran up into an embankment which pushed the bumper up, cracking that passenger side headlight. Because again, looking at a close-up of the front end, there is no impact damage. It's not like there's any visible signs that any of the bumper cover, hood, or fenders actually collided with or made any direct impact. The two reasons is obviously the lack of any visible damage or dents, but additionally the front end on this car, if you remember or have been following the channel, was PPF'd. And there is not a single wrinkle or a single sign of the front paint protection film being warped or peeled or ripped off. So huge shout out to the PPF installer, because they obviously did a fantastic job on paint protection filming the car. But as far as I can tell, it looks like this car very likely ran up an embankment. The wheels and tires look pretty much pristine. It's not like the wheels dented or the tires blown. So I wonder if the car just at a high rate of speed, or for some other unknown reason, maybe it ran into a median or off the road, and it looks like the front end just got pushed up and some serious damage to the underbody is probably what's wrong here. Which again is very hard to deduce from the pictures, but that's my best educated guess. But yeah, so that's the status of the OG C8 Corvette. I guess we can put a wrap on that one. It doesn't seem like this car is really going to come back to the stable. It's very hard to register, inspect, and insure a car in Massachusetts that's had a salvage title from my experiences. And this car was listed with a buy now price of $67,000. During the first bid, it went up to $62,000, but it seems like that the selling auction lot didn't accept that high bid. And as the car market's turned around, the highest bids that I've seen on this car are in the mid-50s, like 55, 54. So I bet they probably wish they took that high 62 offer in the first bid. And when I saw these pictures, I was definitely heartbroken. I was a little upset because, again, this car was so fundamental to the channel and my automotive journey. So to see it in this state is rather saddening. And I couldn't help but at least make a video and share it with some of the people that were a part of my journey from that far back. But that is all that I have available for today's video. This OG C8 Corvette is totaled, it's gone, it's salvaged, and that's the end of that journey for that car, at least in its OEM form. So thanks again for stopping by. If you have not already, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button if you liked the video, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. And stay tuned for a lot of great videos around the C8 Corvette and the Ram TRX coming up on the horizon. Until the very next video, I look forward to seeing all of you in the comment section below.